Alright, so last thoughts on Kapotasana for a while. So from Shalabhasana all the way up to Kapotasana, I figured out there's about 10 minutes worth of asana, and so if I really focus on this part of my body through all of those asanas, it seems like once I get to Kapotasana, it makes it easier. So Shalabhasana, I'm doing with my legs like just a little bit apart, maybe hip width apart, so that I can relax like my glutes, not like tighten up there trying to lift my legs up really high, but rather like try to bring my tailbone down towards the floor and ground with the pubic bone and like stretch the whole back of my body. So it's contracted a little bit, but it's really mainly like really stretching with the tailbone being kind of the middle, I guess. So both Shalabhasanas that way. And then all of those vinyasas too, like trying to really lengthen it out. And I think I've only been doing like a half of a vinyasa. And so Bakasana, same thing. I've been trying, first of all, stretch out the front of my leg, each one, right? But then, when I go to do it, instead of like, really like trying to crank my feet way down to the floor, I'm thinking more about this going long. So, and like also up through the insides of your legs, too, and letting that energy that's coming up the insides of my legs, so lengthen out tailbone. So my legs actually come in a little bit narrower. If I do that, they come in more towards by my hips than being out that way. So they're more like this, because I'm bringing my tailbone down. And kind of let the energy coming up the insides of your legs meet in the middle and bring your chest off the ground. Yeah? So that one that way. And then again, like lengthen it out. And that little half of a vinyasa. Bow, same deal. Just like down. It's not all tightened up around it. And so instead of splaying out this way, so the legs going out like that, trying to keep them more together. And really not going for a lot of height. I'm really more like kind of, I would say, like especially the bottom of the spine, I'm pulling with my feet to try to like lengthen from the bottoms of my knees, so my quadriceps to the pubic bone up through the front of my body, make that really long, and just my rib cage is where it's coming off the ground. So to make my spine like nice and long, it's kind of like putting it in some kind of traction in my arms. And same thing, these two sides, really getting a good stretch in the hip that's down on the floor. Trying to kind of, but keeping my knees together and not splaying them out to keep this stretching and open. Down, up, and over the other side. So my knees together, not going for a huge arch in my back really, just stretching this out, and it feels really good. And then coming back up in the middle, of course. But that whole way, thinking about trying to relax everything around your tailbone and let your tailbone sink towards the floor. But it also means you got to have really strong your legs on the inside. All right. So that by the time I get to Strasana, this is like way more down. It is so much more down than it used to be. And so if I want to go forward on my knees, it's not such a big deal. And I really like, so it's the same as in Dhanurasana where I was saying stretch all of this. It's the same thing now. I'm just doing it in a different, with a different thing in the floor. My knees We're in the floor now instead of the front of my body. So up, 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 and reach back. And this time now, I am like stretching more from here to here, trying to really stretch that up, but it's coming from this being super long, and then up. So that way, with the Ustrasana, I haven't been doing the big strong vinyasa, just been like stretching my back out. And then for Lago, same deal. This dropping, and in fact I'm going to let this come so far forward and lifting up here so much and go lean, you know, back. And what I've been doing is the old school arms now is like, let this come so far forward that I can actually like reach to my hand, or to my hands to my knees. And then from this super woo, go backwards. But still up, up, up. And it's like in my legs, this is kind of spreading that way. So then my tailbone is really, it's like stretching up, up, up. And it's what initiates coming up too. Around that. And then curve it back the other way. And that feels good. Hopefully I'm not going to run out of video, because this is the thing, this is the other little kicker that I'm going to work on and see if it works. So I'm going to go back to do my Kapotasana now. And I'm going to go back slowly, slowly, slowly. And I see the wall and put my hands up. And then keeping this spreading that way around, lifting up in the middle so that my spine can stretch this way, this way. So it's making it long by it's kind of going forward. And then with every time that I exhale, I let it, I'm trying to stretch my spine a little bit more. And then wherever my hands are going to come down, I'm going to leave them there. Don't try to walk them back to my feet necessarily. Keep spreading around through the hips. Push your knees into the floor. And let your tailbone stretch. Stretch all around your tailbone. Feels really good. And so then the thing where I think I'm going to be able to make progress is Capo B, that I think everybody like focuses on A so much and getting your feet. Whereas I think B, when you go to straighten your arms, you're going to push that front, this, forward more. So leave your arms like same distance from your feet, but straighten them and try to lift and push forward more in your hips, right? And I think that is what's going to help with Capo A. So, I guess bottom line is I've totally changed how I think about that posture. Like I don't really care anymore about getting my feet right now. What I care about is stretching all this down, letting all this come around, and so releasing it up this way. And that's the same as a forward bend. All this stuff is stretching around this way, right? But the tailbone is, I guess, kind of in a like a neutral spot. Whereas once you get to those back bends, this is stretching, and then now you're stretching it even more because you're moving your tailbone forward. Yeah. So that's my new thing.